You know, every once in a while, a story pops up online that does more than just get a bunch of clicks. That actually reveals something really deep about who we are. And lately, that story was about a tiny, lonely monkey. So today, we're not just going to look at a viral video, we're going to treat this as a serious philosophical case study about our own hyper-connected world.
And man, the reaction was just instantaneous and so emotional. Comments exactly like this one were everywhere. It was this huge shared global outpouring of empathy for one little creature thousands of miles away. It was like we all felt this ache at the exact same time. And that huge wave of feeling, it kind of forces us to ask a bigger question, right? Is all of this intense focus and emotion really just about this one monkey? Or is our reaction pointing to something much, much bigger? Something about ourselves? All right, so before we get all philosophical, we need to get the facts straight. Let's meet the subject of our case study, a baby macaque whose name is Punch.
So here's the rundown on Punch. He's this tiny macaque at a zoo in Japan. But right from the start, things were tough. His mother abandoned him, and as he's tried to find his place in the troop, he's faced what people have called constant bullying. It's a story we all recognize, really. The outsider just fighting for a little bit of belonging. A struggle that happens in our world, and as we see in nature, too.
So what was the spark? The moment that just blew up online? It was this short, heartbreaking video clip. You see Punch trying to connect with the other monkeys, and he just gets aggressively dragged away by one of the bigger ones. And then, completely defeated, he just goes and clutches this little stuffed toy for comfort. And that one single moment, that rejection and then finding comfort in a little toy, wow. It was like a lightning rod for all this pent-up human emotion. The reaction online was absolutely extraordinary. And you saw this kind of thing everywhere. People didn't just feel bad for him. They felt this incredibly powerful, almost gut-level need to do something, to physically go there and protect this little guy. And here's where it gets really interesting. Notice the language here. It's not just I need to help, it's we as a people need to help. All of a sudden, this became a shared mission for thousands of strangers online. I mean, this one just says it all, doesn't it? It's so creative and so personal, it just perfectly captures that overwhelming feeling of wanting to drop everything in your own life just to go and fix this one small, sad situation somewhere else in the world. But then you get this, the official statement from the zoo. And it's so clinical, so detached. They basically reframe what we see as bullying into scolding, and what we see as loneliness into resilience. It created this huge gap between what everyone was feeling and the official story. Okay, and that disconnect, that's our pivot point. This is where the whole thing goes from being a story about a monkey to being a story about us. This is the big question, isn't it? I mean, there's so much suffering in the world on a scale that's honestly hard to even think about. So why? Why did this one specific story about this one tiny primate become this massive global thing? And maybe the answer isn't out there. Maybe it's in here. Maybe when we were all watching Punch, we weren't just seeing a monkey, we were seeing a mirror. What if that collective ache we felt for him is just an echo of a much deeper ache we all carry inside ourselves? Which brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer. Punch isn't just a monkey anymore. He's become this powerful, living metaphor for something we could call the connection crisis. So what on earth is the connection crisis? Well, it's that huge paradox of modern life. We are swimming in a sea of notifications, feeds, and followers. We're technically more connected than ever, and yet so many of us feel deeply, profoundly alone. We are beings, just like Punch, who are wired for real connection, for trust, for belonging, but we live in a world that mostly offers a cheap digital imitation of it. And if you look at it this way, the parallels are, honestly, they're kind of stunning. Punch is abandoned by his troop. We feel disconnected from any real sense of community. He gets punished for trying to connect. We put ourselves out there online and get judged by ruthless algorithms and strangers. And maybe most importantly, he turns to a stuffed, inanimate object for comfort. We turn to a cold glass screen. You see the point here, right? Our whole digital life, it can feel exactly like that macaque troop. It's this society that we're technically a part of, but where real belonging, real acceptance feels just out of reach. A place where the rules are confusing and the rejection can feel incredibly sharp. Okay, so let's bring it all together. After all this, what does this little monkey actually teach us? What's the final provocative idea that his story leaves us with?
I mean, the irony here is it's incredible when you think about it. We all sat there, alone with our devices, the very tools that often make us feel so isolated, and use them to feel a moment of intense, shared connection over a story that's all about the pain of being disconnected.
So, when you boil it all down, Punch's story reminds us of three huge things. First, that need to connect is primal. It's in his DNA. It's in ours. Second, the sheer force of our reaction shows just how starved we are for genuine belonging. And third, we see our own loneliness in his story. And maybe, in wanting to save him, we're really just trying to save a part of ourselves.
And that really leaves us with one final, kind of unsettling question to think about. Punch was desperately trying to get a signal from his troop to connect. We are desperately online searching for a signal in all that noise. But in this endless scrolling, this constant search, are we starting to forget what real connection even feels like?